Welcome to a beautiful, sunny,
muggy,
cloudy Fort Lauderdale,
Florida. We were gonna go to the beach,
which is like right there.
Yeah, but the waves and the wind was too intense. There was no way you were gonna be able to hear us from over there.
And now there's absolutely no breeze. So if we're sweating, it's not because we're nervous, I promise.
It's just because it's, well, Fort Lauderdale.
And it's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, and the airport, if you hear an airplane, I'm sorry. Apparently the airport's right there.
So now we're gonna have that going up.
Yeah.
But either way, we're here
to tell you some really, really big news.
We're boat owners.
Woo! We spent every last penny.
Yes, we did. But we own a boat, and
there's so much that we didn't know that went along with the buying process. Other expenses that we had no idea existed.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely...
Apparently there's four-wheelers too.
There is a lot that goes along with the boat buying process. I think it's almost more complicated than when we bought a house.
Yeah. So we're hoping in this video to share exactly what we went through, paperwork, who we hired, all that kind of jazz, and how much it cost.
I'm referencing my phone for all of our notes because, well, there's a lot to go over.
Yeah, we don't want to miss anything.
No, and my phone is inside here, so that is what I'm looking at, so you're not like, what the heck is she looking at her bag for? First up being, finding the perfect boat.
Ooh, yeah, that was tough. It was a lot more difficult than we expected. There's really only a few that met our criteria. Owner's versions.
Yep. Never been chartered. Well maintained, because we didn't want to start off with a boat that had...
a project boat.
Yeah, we want to focus on learning how to sail and all the seamanship and everything else that goes along with being a boat owner, and not immediately start with a bazillion projects that were also going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we chose the model that we chose, the Leopard 43, and the particular boat that we now own.
Catamarans right now are kind of like the hot thing, apparently.
Selling like hotcakes.
Oh my gosh, like left and right. It's not like we were only searching in Florida, much less Fort Lauderdale. We were doing worldwide searches, calling about boats all over the place, and every single time it was either already sold within a day of listing or was a piece of crap. So
it's amazing how many were out there just in horrible disrepair because the owners didn't take care of them. So that would not really work for our situation. Because we have the cats, we need to be able to move in, we have to give back the RV. So
there's a lot of logistics that went along with everything. So finding a boat, it was a challenge. And even still, we found one relatively quick. So many people were commenting saying it took them 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years to find the perfect boat.
Oh, the next one, we had no idea. Well, we know some salesmen are kind of shady, but brokers are generally awful is what everyone told us. We didn't believe it, and we got a taste of it.
We got a taste of it, but it's like anybody, and I swear to goodness, any sales whatsoever, right? Like you can have a few bad eggs, and they kind of ruin it for everybody. Even in RVs, there were really terrible sales guys, but then there were some really great ones, so it's weeding them out.
We heard at the docks, through the grapevine, we heard that the owner's broker. The boat owner's broker. Was playing some shady games. He actually had another couple who he was representing that wanted to buy the exact same boat. So if he would have sold it to them, he would have made double the commission, the full 10% commission. And he was hiding our offers from the boat owner, so that way...
Or not submitting them to him, even though we had sent them in.
Yes.
Hoping a deal would fall through so he could sell the boat to the other couple. Finger of shame on you, and you know who you are.
We won't mention his name, we won't mention who he's with, because it's all just hearsay. We heard it through the docks, we heard it through several people, and we confirmed with the owner that he hadn't received our submission, which was really nice because we had this connection with the owner, and we kind of had that inside scoop. He's like, hey guys, did you make an offer yet?
Yeah, did you send in your revised offer and everything? And we were like, well, like 2 days ago. Have you not gotten it? And he's like, no, I've been following up and I can't hear anything back. Anyway. It was exciting stuff. Nerve-wracking on our end because we were thinking, well, maybe he's really pissed off. Maybe he didn't like our counter offer. Anyway, it was good. It was fun.
And our broker, Kent, he hates being called a broker. He says he prefers to be called, hey you, hey dude.
Just call him Kent.
Yeah, just call me Kent. He's like, I hate being called a broker, but That's what he is. We didn't have any of that experience with him. In fact, he even helped us out immensely, and he's going to give us a little discount on our service to make up for some of the extra cash he made us spend.
He made us
by
spend.
showing us that boat.
Yeah. Next topic is negotiations, which are fun.
I hate negotiations. They're just, it feels like a horrible game. It seems pointless to me.
It's kind of like, here's what it's worth. That's what you pay. Maybe if there's some repairs that weren't expected, totally fine. We renegotiate, but it's a whole lot of freaking back and forth.
Yeah, it's a game. And we originally thought after the survey and sea trial came back, we could get the owner to split with us the $20,000 worth of stuff that needed to be fixed.
Right, but he was not interested. He knew that he could sell his boat to somebody else.
He could have easily sold it. He knew it. So we had very little leverage as far as negotiations went. But he did take off. He met us a quarter of the way there, took off $5,500.
Yeah, so...
We thought it was a fair price.
5,000, not
5,500.
Yeah. Now I'm getting nitpicky.
We thought it was a fair price, no matter what. So
yeah, it's not like we overpaid. We still got a fair price for the boat, and we're still happy with our purchase.
We'll go into a little more detail about the sale and the price and everything on our website if you want to click over and read a little more detail about it.
Right, but to give you the quick lowdown, so the original list price when we very first saw the listing for the boat,
$359.
Yes. And then, but that didn't include the dinghy. And then our final price that we paid after a bunch of back and forth, and I mean a bunch of back and forth, was
$316.
Yes.
I know these numbers.
Well, but
$316,000, and that included the dinghy, which is worth
around 10 grand.
Around 10 grand, 8 to 10 maybe. So I think we got a really fair deal. Dear, we got a fair deal.
It was a fair deal, but it was still way the frickin' heck over our budget.
Yep. Which is our next point?
Yeah. Way over budget. We originally had set up our funds and our boat budget based on, we want this amount for the boat because that's what we thought it was going to cost us, and we want this much to go in the cruising kitty. And once we add those amounts, then we were good to go.
Yeah. We thought, we could cruise for a couple years, no problem.
Yeah.
Here comes a plane. We'll wait.
Once we realized that the boats that we liked the most, which chiefly being the Leopard 43 owner's version, was going to cost us way over our budget, no matter kind of really what year we were looking at.
Yeah. We started looking into loans. We actually contacted a loan agent, and unfortunately, because we own our own businesses, we're constantly traveling. We don't really have an address. We
have an address, but we haven't had a consistent address. Anyway, being a nomad does not look good to a bank.
No, they don't want to give us money. So we started looking elsewhere, and fortunately, Nikki and I both have life insurance policies that we can take a loan out on the life insurance policy.
So we're essentially borrowing our own money, the money we've put in over the years. And surprisingly, they let you borrow your own money for very cheap.
Yeah, very cheap, yeah. Granted, it's our own money, but at least we didn't have to get rid of our life insurance policies. We didn't have to get rid of our IRAs. We didn't do any of that sort of stuff.
No, we didn't touch any of our other investments, so to say.
But they did loan us our own money at a whopping 2% interest rate.
The good news is our insurance policies are still intact. It doesn't affect those. And
if we live really frugally, which is the plan,
we can pay it back in about a year.
Yeah. So no more craft beer.
Not so much eating out. A lot of eating in, picking up extra side jobs, and storing back up some cash and paying off the loan of our own money. Now we're into the actual buying process. And the first thing that we kind of had to look into was, were we going to fill out all the paperwork ourselves, or were we going to hire a documenter?
And since we're complete newbies about buying a big boat or a new boat or expensive boat, we decided it would be smartest to hire a documenter.
Yeah, because once we started looking at what all that really entailed, which was the registration, making sure all the proper paperwork is in check, even from the actual
original sale of the boat.
Right. You know, do you have all the dinghy paperwork? Has it been properly imported into the U.S.?
Yeah, so many red flags kept popping up. Like, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, and we did not want to make a mistake.
No, because apparently if you make a mistake on that end, one, either the deal could fall through and you can lose your deposit, which for us that was $30,000.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No.
Or it could
you're going to have
cost you a
to
lot.
pay it on the back end.
Yeah. There were plenty of opportunities for us to royally screw it up, so we decided it would be another opportunity for some money well spent, and we would hire the documenter,
Yeah.
which was good.
Yeah, and the cost was $895, I believe.
Yes, $895. So it seemed pricey, but honestly, it was a lot of frickin' paperwork.
Yeah, and at the end, I don't have the documents to show you, but at the end, she'll have it all in a nice binder. So when it comes time for us to sell the boat, hopefully many, many years down the road or down the sea, we will have this binder just to hand right over and...
Yeah, with all the proper paperwork, so we don't have to worry about digging for any of that later on. One part of the documenter's job is to register the boat. And when we were looking at registering, we didn't really quite understand. Do we register that in Texas, which is our home state? A lot of people said register it in Delaware because you'll save a bunch of money on taxes.
Yeah, and then we also read registering with the Coast Guard. And after talking with the documenter, she said because you're not staying in one state for any extended period of time, the Coast Guard registration would be the best.
Yeah, so saves us the most amount on taxes. And apparently there's a bunch of other
benefits that we don't really know that much about, but
no, but it's supposed to be really good to register your vessel with the Coast Guard.
The worst part about hiring a documenter was she rushed us to name the boat.
Apparently when you register, you have to name the vessel.
We thought
we were gonna have so much time, and we were kicking around names, but we weren't rushed because we thought it didn't matter. We were gonna have time to name it.
Yeah, but over the past couple months, we've been kicking around names between the two of us, and we knew we didn't want to say Gone with the Wynns as the name because it was phonetically
long,
way too long. So we would have to spell Alpha, Zulu, Bravo, Tango, all that stuff. Like Gone with the Wynns, it would take like a half an hour.
Right. The other thing was we read a bunch of blogs online and asked around, and people said make it short, make it easy to understand, and try not to dink with the spelling too much because then it makes it hard when you're calling in, they'll get it wrong and then you're just trying to correct them and it gets tricky.
If we say win, they might think win, W-I-N, or wind, W-I-N-D.
So anyway, we decided we wanted something that represented us and our travels and the adventures.
So we chose...
Wait for it.
Curiosity. SV Curiosity. I think it rolls off the tongue nicely.
Yeah, and plus it kind of has a double meaning.
Yes.
It's kind of that whole curiosity killed the cat.
Maybe a little dark, but...
No, it's that reminder that curiosity is good. It inspires you to go see what's around that corner. Curiosity is what keeps driving us, for sure, to go explore that new place. But it can also mean curiosity killed the cat.
So be very careful not to be too curious. That's the thought.
Keep it in check.
Yeah.
Insurance.
Insurance, yes. Does that mean?
Yeah.
Okay. We actually started on the docks asking around insurance companies. We asked people their recommendations. We talked to the original owner of the boat.
Asked him who he was insured with and who he's had over the past 8, 9, 10 years of owning the boat.
Yep. And then we talked to our broker, Kent.
Yep.
And we asked him, and he said, well, there's a couple different insurance brokers that I recommend. And we called both of them.
Yes. And they all have, I guess they represent...
multiple different agencies. They send out a thing, and agencies come back to them. So I think in all we had 8 different quotes for insurance, which we felt like was a really good option for choosing.
Yeah, and they were all vastly different. It was amazing.
Some of them made you have a captain on board for an entire year.
Yeah, which means you can't sell your own vessel or go anywhere, move it, do anything without a captain on board.
Which is expensive.
Yeah, hello, no. And that's because we're inexperienced. We have no experience with owning a large vessel, most certainly not a sailboat. So,
which is fine. Like, we understand the reasoning behind it.
Right.
But the Lloyd's of London policy that we ended up with is supposed to be one of the most lenient on the process. We have to learn how to sail, obviously. Then we can hire a captain to come on board, and then he basically just looks at us and our confidence and sees if we can or cannot sail the boat.
Yeah. So he signs off sends an email to our insurance company or to our broker that says they're competent, they can sail their own vessel.
Yeah. And that's it. No checklist. Like some companies wanted a checklist. He just literally has to send an email and say, yep, they can do it.
So we're going to wait because we have signed up for a A+ cruising catamaran course, which
with
is
Blue Water Sailing School. It's an ASA certified class.
Yes, it's an ASA certified class that's a week long. So after that week, we should be pretty darn competent to do all of the basics. Then we'll hire that captain to come on board for our sign-off. Yeah. There was one really big thing which had us a little nervous, and that was hurricane coverage. We were told if you stay in Florida or within, the Bahamas, the hurricane belt, it was going to cost us a lot of extra money. But
when I got a quote on keeping the boat in Chesapeake Bay, which is out of the hurricane belt, they said it was only $200 and something less expensive.
Right. So for $200, we're like, we'd rather be able to go wherever we want, so that way we can, sail down to the Keys, get our sea legs, pop over to the Bahamas, do some island hopping.
Plus, the fact is we had to be out of the hurricane belt by June 1st, which was not going to happen, which is like less than a month away or a month away.
And, we've already signed up for our class at Blue Water Sailing School, which is here in Fort Lauderdale, so we kind of needed to stick in this area. Plus, our broker Kent,
and our service center and our connections with people who want to sail with us, all that kind of stuff.
Right, are all here. So we wanted to be here for a little bit longer. It's beneficial for us to stick around before we take off.
And learn the ropes before we blast north.
Yes. Now, there was one caveat with the hurricane coverage, and that is
the deductible.
The deductible if we get hit by a hurricane is a lot higher than just our typical deductible.
$16,000 hurricane deductible.
Yes. Yeah. So we're willing to take that risk because, you'll know that a hurricane is coming. We can get to a safe harbor.
All the sailors we talked to said, it's not a big deal. Don't worry. You just take down the sails. You do these things, and it's okay.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to go with. All right. So total, our annual premium, which we're told will go down after the first year due to experience, much like having a driver's license. When you turn 25, your insurance goes down. Hopefully the same will happen here. But our total for now is $3,890. See?
Our deductible is 2% at $9,480.
Yes.
So that's not crazy, I don't think.
Our health insurance deductible is $10,000.
Yeah.
So, Closing.
Dun, dun, dun. Other than the gut-wrenching button push that cost us $318,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
That was hard. Everything else was easy. We just signed in a couple papers. The only thing we had to pay for was an extension.
Mm-hmm. To be in Florida for longer than 60 days. So we extended it to 180 days.
Normally you can get an extension for 90 days at no charge, but we knew the sailing class, service, learning, all that.
It's going to take longer than 60 days.
So we paid the money, extended for 180 days, and then once that 180 days ends, we have to get the heck out of Florida and we can't come back for 6 months.
Yeah. So no wintering in Florida for us. Wah, wah, wah.
Okay.
That was it.
That's it?
Yeah. Once you handed over the money, it's a done deal.
It's been a crazy few weeks. It's been stressful roller coaster for sure.
Yeah, all the back and forth and and just collecting the money and making sure everything was done properly.
But it's nice to have a good team on our side, and we paid for them. Having Kent on our side, the broker,
the survey and the sea trial, all of that. I mean, it all adds up and it's additional cost, but it all feels like money well spent to make sure that you did everything you were supposed to do. There's no hidden fees later other than the boat cost itself. So it feels good to be done with all of it. Yeah.
And to own a boat.
Yes!
Yeah, we are boat owners.
But it doesn't feel that exciting yet because we still have to, we haven't picked up the boat, so we have to go deal with all the logistics of that.
So many logistics. We're going to have to somehow get out to Vero Beach because the owner brought it back to Vero Beach.
After the survey and sea trial.
Bring somebody out to sail it down with us.
To Fort Lauderdale so we can get the service items taken care of from the sea trial and survey.
Yep.
But the RV is in West Palm Beach.
It's in West Palm Beach in our car, and it's man, lots of logistics. We still have lots more RV stuff to talk about in the next couple months. Lots of sailboat stuff to talk about, and I think we deserve a dip in the water. I was going to say a beer, but we can't afford any beers.
It's So we'll go swimming instead. But yeah, hopefully
this helped.
And the next time you see us, we'll be moving on
a boat. Better be.
Yeah.
We own that boat. We better get to move on it. Let's go. Watch your pokey grass.
Sat there for too long. My legs hurt.
I know.
Woo! It's sticky.
Man, it is hot. And it's only going to get hotter.
Oh, yeah.
That's the scary part.
Summer in Florida, baby. It's going to be good.